this pyramid scheme job, and I was like,
what?
Yeah, there's a pyramid scheme job that I did for a little while, and I kind of
You were
realized
part of a pyramid scheme job. Did you know?
no, not until afterwards. But that's what they would do in the mornings. They wake up, and they'd be like, "Hey, everybody, let's go! They're all out to bring us down."
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Draft Digest. The sickest NFL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hey everybody. Oh, no, I'm going to do it. I've been doing it, John. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Draft Digest on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm Emily Van Buskirk. He's John Vogel. He's back. He missed us last week, but he is making his triumphant return just in time to talk about college football week 0 and give a little preview of college football week 1. So welcome back.
Well, I think that was probably the one week that you were grateful that I wasn't there to say, Go Army, beat Navy.
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay,
of course I did. I got all the way through it.
But at the very end, I did. I was like, okay, I was dreading it, relaying this message. But I was like, I got to do it because it's either going to go really well or it's going to do something funny. I don't know. So I was like, I have a message for you. I'm not going to say the whole thing, but John says go Army. And I couldn't say beat Navy. I just couldn't do it. So
well, it's okay. It's okay. I'll take the Army side. It'll just make the episode even more interesting when we get to that time of the year. At the end of the college football season, before that game, there might be some words that are said. It's gonna be fun.
I think he had some really good points, and just to recap a little, if anybody missed it, they should go check it out because he had some really interesting things to say about the future of the game, which is something like I'm always curious about with this changing landscape. Like, are we still going to get Army Navy? Is it still going to be that unique standalone situation? And he kind of weighed in on that, and he had some interesting things to say. So it's definitely worth a listen if you're into that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad that you kind of started off. Before I start my point, I have to applaud you for the t-shirt choice today. Fantastic.
I'm trying to get it all in frame.
Yeah, get it all in the frame. Fantastic t-shirt choice. If you're listening to the podcast, not watching, it is an absolute glorious thing. You need to go to YouTube and check it out. Yes.
I got to shout out the Sickos. It's a Sickos committee t-shirt. I'm sure people know the story about. Do you know how the shirt started?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. Well,
inform me.
Really, I'll give a brief synopsis of it. But basically, there is a very lively Reddit thread where this college football fan was airing out grievances about, like, you know, the SEC and the bias. And,
no. Okay, I do know where this came from. Yes, okay, so the greatest comment ever of all time. Yes. Okay.
And so basically, he said you wouldn't survive a quarter in Ypsilanti. And so
that's right. The
Sickos committee was like, that's gold. And you can see right here, it says Sickos committee on the raccoon. So they made a shirt, they have hoodies, all kinds of stuff with the Mac mascot, which is now a raccoon. I guess we're calling it the Macoon. That's fine. And
because in the comment, they'd said, you know, there's 50 people in the stands and raccoons, you know,
and raccoons, circling the stadiums. Yes. And that's something that we've all, like, those of us that are big college football heads, like, it made so much sense. The way this guy, it was clearly a rant. It was clearly like this guy was just having his moment, like he needed to get it out, but it made so much sense. And that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest college football quotes of all time. So I'm so glad they put it on the t-shirt. I highly recommend getting one because it's going to be a great piece of history moving forward. So
I wanted to address some questions that I got regarding the 4 head coaches we've had on here in the last month from college football. And some of the questions, I really appreciate feedback, first off.
That's nice.
That's I thrive on, you know, constructive criticism, and as I'm struggling to get that out right now for some reason, that's gonna drive. I gotta go back and evaluate. The thing that I think a lot of people kind of asked me about, you know, because it was something that I've never really done in my career. I've never really done with draft stuff, but how are having college coaches on relevant to the NFL draft? And I wanted to start off by kind of laying down exactly why it's important, because this is a scouting tip that you can take with you that I learned on, I guess, a few years ago. One of the things that's really important about evaluating a prospect is understanding his mental makeup. Okay.
Sure.
On the media side, sometimes we don't get great access to that. We have little tidbits here and there. We have little things that we hear from people in the know. And, sometimes that's hard to get a good grasp on.
Yeah.
The thing is, one of the parts of mental makeup is the coaches and what they've been preached to, essentially as they've been developing. So for the first thing that you look at is where a guy's from. A lot of times that gives you a really good idea of the type of person that he is. And I'll use the example of Pulaski, Tennessee, where I coached high school football over here. Pulaski is made up of two basic types of people. You've got farm boys that grew up on 20, 30, 40, 50 acres, throwing bales of hay around, working with animals. And you've got guys that grew up in the tough part of Pulaski. There's no in between. And so what they kind of have to do as a team is they have to bring these two types of people together that come from two completely different worlds and mesh them into a football team.
Yeah.
So understanding what an area is like, where somebody is from, that helps you kind of understand, okay, this is probably where they're coming from. This is where their base is going to be. This is where the foundation was laid down for the way that they were raised, the person that they've become.
Right.
That's the first aspect. Now, obviously, people can overcome that stuff. That's all goes into the evaluation, but it gives you a good baseline. Okay, this is where he's coming from. This is how he was raised. This is how we're going to assess him from,
Right.
the lens. The second aspect is coaching. What are those coaches preaching to him? What are they telling him? How are they coaching him? How are they coached? Can they handle tough criticism? Are they guys that need to be, I don't want to use the word babied, but maybe spoken to a little bit softer and sort of pushed gently, not necessarily yanked, so there's different, those are all parts of it, because that goes into team building. Having those four coaches on, I think, spells out two really good things, because first off, it gives us really good examples of excellent, outstanding coaches. And Emily, you set all of those up, so I'm going to give you the credit. I can't take any of it. I just got to sit here and enjoy the ride, basically. But those were four outstanding examples of guys that they're not just really good people. They're not just really good coaches. They've been successful. They've seen high levels of success. They've been around high levels of success in multiple places.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we picked those, is because that's a good baseline for, hey, this is a really good program. So now, were they using some coach speak? Absolutely. Everybody does. We're the media, like at this point. But you're going on a podcast. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and break down, hey, we're going to run cover 5 against Texas this year, because we think that's got a better shot. No, we're not going to talk about all that, but we're going to get the basic philosophies out, right? Where, every single one of them gave examples of the coachisms per se that they use, right? The phrases, the things that kind of build their philosophies. And those are very good examples of guys that you want to be around. And even interpreting through the coach speak, you're going to start hearing this year, if you listen to those 4 episodes and you start listening to some of these other press conferences, see these other clips with some of these other coaches out there, you're going to hear a difference in the way that they talk about things, in the way that they approach it. And you're going to know good versus bad now. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be plainly obvious. What's a good coach? What's a coach that's really not doing it?
I would say it's also not, it's approach, right? And I tend to gravitate towards guys like the guys that we had on, the Spencer Danielsons of the world, the Kenny Dillinghams, who hopefully will be joining us. Those kind of guys that are passionate about the program, but they channel in aspects of their life. And it's not just, I don't want to say a job, because that is coach speak. Oh, it's a paycheck, it's a job, but it's not to them. Like, they would, for lack of a better word, like die for these kids. Like, they would literally put themselves in front of a bullet. And that's the kind of guy that I like to interview and associate with. And those tend to be the kind of coaches that I befriend. And so I'm glad that we had guys like that on, because it speaks to not every program is run like a machine. Not every program, and I know from a draft perspective, you're looking at schools that get out the most guys. So the Alabamas of the world, the Utahs of the world, whatever it is that puts all these guys in the NFL like a machine. But that is changing. And I think that's what NFL people need to understand is with the changing of the climate, we are exposing more than ever who these kids are and what they stand for. There's no hiding anymore. Social media has changed that. The transfer portal has changed that. NAL has changed that. They can't hide who they are. And now we're getting to see that. So it's better to find these things out now when they're in college, which is why NFL, this should matter to you. If you're a draft head, if you're an NFL person, it should matter where they're playing, why they're there, and what their goal is. Like, so that makes me angry. And I am glad that we addressed it.
Really funny because what I got up, I was looking for a book that I have, and I'm not sure exactly where it is right now because I was reading it the other day, and it reminded me of something I was reading. So what you're kind of describing is these coaches that it's more than a job.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a perfect opportunity to bring this up because ESPN just did a really awesome hour-long special on this guy. But in the AFCA's football coaching strategies, it was a collection of articles from a lot of different coaches published in 1995.
Okay.
There's a 1975 article from Lee Corso.
Okay.
In this article, it's a philosophical article about coaching. And he talks about how, as a college coach, fathers bring their sons to you and say, take care of him, raise him to be a man,
right.
Teach him everything because I'm too busy. I'm at work, I'm traveling, I'm playing golf, whatever it is. Those are his words, not mine.
Right.
And it is upon us as coaches, he says, to bring the man out of the boy. And so that's what I was going to find the book.
Wow.
If it was right here, to bring that up, especially in ESPN just did that awesome hour-long special on him. So it's perfect time to bring it up.
Yeah.
But that's what all four of those guys that we just brought on embodied. And
yeah. And
that's
if you're watching this and you don't get that and you don't get why we're doing that, then you don't understand the draft and the process because it's such
team building.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's an important, like, these are kids, they're human beings, and there's a reason why some of them make it and some of them don't, and some things happen. I mean, I don't know how to explain that better, but the guys who know the most about these players is not their families at this point in their life. It's not their girlfriends or their wives. It's their coach. It's their position coach. It's their head coach, and it's their teammates. And if you ever have a chance to talk to those people, that's who you should talk to. I mean, nobody knows more than college football coaches, in my opinion. So take it in.
There we go.
Don't ask why. Just take it in and enjoy it.
And I think that they gave all four of them gave really great advice on different aspects of team building, of philosophy. And I think that anybody could take good things from that. So I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry I didn't get to,
I think that's
loud the Navy head coach a little bit, tell him, tell him exactly how I feel, but no, he's awesome.
It's going to be a fun season for Navy. So I think that was really cool to get him on here while they're on the precipice of what could be one of the best seasons the Naval Academy's ever seen, with the potential for a Heisman hopeful, and an offense that has never existed at Annapolis. We're talking about a prolific throwing, running, just everything offense that's just never been seen. So to kind of talk to him about that right before it happens, now obviously it could not end up being that way, but I think it's cool to look back on these and see, wow, that did manifest the way that he said it would. So we'll see.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun year. And we got our little sampler started with week 0.
It was like an appetizer.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Let me get my notes pulled. I had some extensive notes.
I was getting I don't want to say PTSD, but some feelings about the Dublin game because I was there a couple years ago and just seeing the weather. Now, when I covered it, there was rain and it did rain, but not nearly to the degree that the conditions that they dealt with, and that looked miserable. But it was such a cool environment. I'm glad they showed the shots at the stadium and like all the different people that were there. And yeah, that was cool. I was excited. The football was not great, but it is.
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that kind of football. Okay. You couldn't see the hash marks or really most of the yard lines. That all kind of blurred away. They had to repaint the sidelines at halftime because it was just gone.
Yeah.
But it was a tough fought. It was a sloppy first half, and it really got competitive there as they settled in, and the rain kind of stopped in the third, fourth quarters. And it became a very good game. So we got to see some defensive players stand out. There are a couple guys that I really liked. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't start this off with Dom Orange, the nose tackle at Iowa State. That guy, we came into the year thinking,
what a great name.
The Big Citrus. Big Citrus.
In Farmageddon, the Big Citrus. We love it. This is great.
Absolutely.
What a great. People who got to write about that, they must have had so much fun with all that.
Oh, golly, yeah. We knew that he was a good player. Like, we saw him last year. And especially with the nose tackle position, I want to say it's kind of making a comeback. And it's because a lot of 4-3 fronts that traditionally didn't use a big 330-pound nose tackle are using them now. I'm up to 23 NFL teams that are going to field a nose tackle this year, which is highest it's ever been, I think. He fits that perfectly to a T. There were shades of Derek Brown watching that game. And one of the questions I think people had was how can he play a full game? You know, can he take a decent snap count at 330 pounds? He answered that this week. And as long as he continues to do that through the season, he'll be fine. He looked like a first round talent watching him. He's a very capable gap shooter. He can work through double teams, very strong wrap-up tackler in 1v1 situations. So when he gets out in space as a run defender, he does some really great stuff. And he does a great job stretching plays to the boundary. You know, so he kept popping on tape. I mean, you couldn't help but notice him. He was the biggest guy, you know, between the offensive and defensive lines. As soon as, they lined up, I was like, oh, there he is. He's right there. But he kept making plays. He held up that interior. Kansas State had some trouble running the ball, and it was really because of him. He was doing a great job letting those linebackers play downhill into the box. He had a very strong opening to the season, and I was thrilled to see it.
Yeah.
There were two guys on Kansas State that kind of popped at me that I wasn't expecting to see pop. So a lot of hype had come into the year on Jace Brown, wide receiver number 1, Kansas State. He had a bad drop beginning of the game. It wasn't really on him, but it was catchable. The ball was a little wet. Everything was kind of crazy at that point. But then he really showed some real explosiveness in the game. Got behind the defense, scored that big touchdown that brought him within 3 points. There's another route where, Iowa State brought an all-out blitz, and he ran a fade, and the safety was playing 20 yards off of him and ran the wrong way to start. And he was wide open. If Avery had been able to get the ball off, Avery Johnson, that would have been a touchdown. He would have had 2 in that game. But 8-man rush, not happening. He took the sack that play instead. But he showed like some run after the catch ability, some real explosiveness, some route running ability, had a really great double move that set up somebody. He really surprised me I had seen a little bit of him last year, but he looked now that he was the feature guy, he had to step up. Dylan Edwards goes down on the first punt return, his first touch of the game, doesn't come back with the ankle injury. He stepped up and at least was able to help carry that offense. And it kind of made you realize, man, if Dylan Edwards can get healthy again this year and play at 100%, these two on the field are going to be really hard to deal with. Maybe it's 3 guys for Kansas State that stood out. Toby Osasanami. I hope I'm not slaughtering his name. Osunsami. Something like that.
Okay.
Edge rusher, number 44. this guy was listed on the depth chart as like the third defensive end, and he was making plays on the first drive, like quick off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Great speed rush. Showed some real bend. Physical. Pursues well to the boundary. Solid stunter. Like, just consistently found his way in the backfield as a pass rusher. And he showed, good wrap-up technique as well. That's a guy, watch him. Number 44, Kansas State. He is good. He's pretty darn good. He kept popping. And that was that's a decent right tackle that he was abusing too. That was awesome. And then Donovan McIntosh who stepped in this year as a corner. He's a first-year starter, redshirt sophomore, probably not coming out in this class. Good size, good edge setter, wants to play against the run, showed good fluid hips. He got beat on one play. I think it was a double move. He bit a little bit too aggressively, and it gave up that second touchdown throw from Rocco. But that was outside of that play, he had a really good game. So I think those were the guys that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's a good list.
You're still struggling to recover from that game, is what it sounds like.
No, I wasn't. I mean, it was messy. I think week 0 and week 1 for me are, they're just messy. And so I'm not as thorough as you are with the individual analysis, but it's more of like a feel for the teams and how they're reacting to the things that are not going well. But it was interesting to see the internet react to Avery because, we had talked about him potentially being a dark horse Heisman type possibility a couple weeks ago or a while back. And it was interesting to see people being like, oh yeah, and jumping on that train. Although he didn't have the best day. Nobody really had like the best day in that game in general, but you did see sparks of it. I got to tell you though, I've never seen so many defenses just get thrown over. It was wild. It was like every other play, they're just being burned down the field, and it was weird. At some point, drop back, like just stop. Happen.
Well, I think what kind of happened was
like play a little safer because of the weather. But
when they had, I think what happened was those first couple quarters, the offenses really struggled. There were the fumbles. Both teams lost 2 fumbles.
Yeah,
and so both teams had a very high run percentage. And so what happened was the safeties kind of started creeping down to help against the run a lot.
Right.
And they started thinking they're not going to throw over the top of us. It's not going to happen.
And then they did.
Right. And then they did, and I think that's why we saw those big plays, especially that one that I think it was a touchdown throw to Jace or maybe it wasn't a touchdown throw. It might've been a big play where he double moved and he beat the safety down the sideline because the safety is looking for the run.
Right.
And then you got Avery Johnson. Good on you bringing him up, because that guy, his acceleration as a runner it's like
I know
0 to 60 instantly.
Yeah. I like watching him. I just don't know if he's going to have the technical side to be, it'll be interesting to see. It's too soon to tell, but I'm excited to watch him. He's fun to watch. He's an explosive guy, and he's a gamer. You know what I mean? Like he's gritty. Like he's tough.
There's a little bit of that like young Jaden Daniels there. A little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Arizona State first couple years.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels. There's a little bit of that because of the athletic ability.
Yeah.
And because he can throw the ball. He didn't in this game very well, not until the third, fourth quarter, but he can throw the ball. And so that athletic ability that he brings is really special.
Really is.
He looks like he's a 4.4 athlete. And I thought that he looked pretty good. Rocco looked good too.
Yeah.
Outside he made some bad throws. He had some accuracy that was a little erratic, but those 2 touchdown throws were beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful throws.
Yes. It was a good start. And then, then the rest of the slate was all right.
I'll give you a couple guys from the rest of the slate. It's okay. I got you. It's like it's my job or something.
Well, no, but I just mean I thought it was hilarious. More my synopsis of is like UNLV. Everyone was like, Idaho State's going to beat them, and then they almost did. It was such a rough, because when I was in Vegas and I was doing all that Mountain West stuff, and actually I had dinner with Dan Mullen and his wife, so many people were like, oh, I don't know if this is the right fit for that. Like, I don't know how this is going to translate with Mullen at the helm. He's a great coach, but is this the right environment and the right team for him? And I'm sitting there like, this guy's been coaching forever. He's really sharp. He knows what he's doing. Big football guy, right? There's not like, what are you guys worried about? And then the game started and I was like, oh, okay. But he figured it out.
It was, yeah, it's they have so many transfers that came in. They have so much that they have to figure out collectively as a team. And Idaho State is no pushover.
No, I mean, they're very good teams. So
that everybody in that area, Idaho's tough, Idaho State's tough, the Dakotas are tough, Montana State, those are tough. Like everybody's tough in that area. Yeah. So like Idaho State's not a pushover at all, you know. I wasn't surprised at all. I actually took Idaho State on the spread. Not gonna lie about that.
I was just like, this is gonna be such a thing if UNLV had lost. Like if they had lost that game, it was gonna fuel a bunch of this stuff, and people were already on the fence. So it was just not gonna be great. Whereas them winning, it just keeps it level. But I do love that there were so many rushing touchdowns. Like, yay, good running the ball. And I love Jaden Thomas. I think he's incredible. So for me, that was the fun part of it, was watching him execute, you know, and running the ball often.
Well, Dason Brooks, who's the running back for Idaho State, really popped.
He did, yeah.
Awkward body build, like looks like I don't know what's going on there. Weirdest running style form you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. But he was effective. He was extremely effective. He pulled away from people. He ran over people. He had good power. Like there was some good stuff there. I thought Anthony Calandria looked really good. Like I'd seen him a little bit at Virginia, you know, the UNLV quarterback that ended up starting over Alex Orji. But Calandria showed big arm, good gritty runner. Yeah. Fairly accurate with the football. I mean, that was fun to watch. I was like, this guy might be a lot better than I thought he was, because I kind of written him off after I think one game that I saw him play. Finn Claypool, edge rusher. Got to bring up the edge rusher. You know how I am.
Boys.
From Fresno State, number 19. He's transferring from Drake. He is a fun player to watch. He had double-digit sacks the last 2 years at Drake, and he came up with the sack for Fresno State in this game. So, the sack, the one they had.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was a rough game for them, but he's going to be good. Probably more of a stand-up rush edge guy. I liked him. LaShawn Williams, the running back at Kansas.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And transfer from Iowa. I think he carried the ball like 40 times in 4 years at Iowa, and he was awesome in this game. I was like, man, everybody was talking about Daniel Henshaw. No. LaShawn Williams is the guy here. Like this is the running back the NFL is going to be watching.
Yeah.
Henshaw, Highshaw, and is that his name, Highshaw?
Yes, Highshaw.
He's okay. All right, he's okay.
He's going to carry, I think, the majority of. He's going to get the majority of the carries, but I think Williams is going to be the guy you go to. He just averages more yards per carry, and he's going to be the guy that scores the touchdown. So it'll be interesting.
He's better, like immediately.
They're different. They're going to use him.
No, they're different style runners, absolutely. But he's better. Like that's the guy that I'm going to Kansas. If I'm going to watch a running back Kansas, that's who it's going to be.
Okay, fair enough.
He was fun.
Tough outing for my guy EJ Warner. Don't give up on him yet. And in Matt ends, it's gonna be better. But that was rough. That was rough.
They couldn't protect him. No. He made some hella good throws.
He's very talented, but he has not found a home where he's been safe yet. And
exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying is, even with that being said, that first half there's 2 or 3 really great throws that he made. He didn't even step up in the pocket. He faded to his back foot while knowing he's about to absolutely get crushed and threw a beautiful ball.
He takes hits very well. That's always something he's done.
Well, that's something that stood out to me. I was like, that's fantastic right there. That's not a big guy. I don't want to see him taking those hits.
No.
But he can do it. He can make the throw off his back.
Yes.
People don't understand how impressive that is. Like when you're fading to your back foot, you are losing all your momentum.
Yeah.
You're letting the ball go. And the ball, like the force, you're essentially fighting the force of gravity.
You're working against, everything's working against you in that situation.
And he delivered great throws.
Yeah.
There are 2 or 3 really good ones. I think 3 in the second quarter specifically that he did that. And I was like, that is freaking impressive.
Yeah. It'll be better next. I'm going to go to the game this weekend at Georgia Southern. So I think we'll see some better. He'll get some confidence going and rolling.
Uh-oh.
I'm curious if you're going to mention anyone from the Stanford Hawaii game from Stanford.
So if my computer's kind of locking up on me,
glitching out, because I will give a shout. Obviously, I didn't want to talk about this. So, my family, my dad went to Stanford. I grew up a Stanford fan. We bleed red, and my whole family was watching the game. I was at a wedding, unfortunately, but they were all watching, and all I'm getting is texts about the quarterback. This is terrible. The season's over. Like, how older fans can be. But I will say that I love Ford. I thought the running was good. And so in that regard, good.
Yeah, Ford was the bright spot. There were a couple, I think the linebackers played really good for Stanford. Yeah. They were all over the field.
But Micah Ford is going to be very fun to watch. And it makes me happy that Stanford is finding, they've always had a great running back in the last decade. And so they really do need that. They need that. So I like that Micah Ford is standing out, but they got to figure out their quarterback situation. It's crazy.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. So I thought Ford, I think I put Ford in my list of guys that stood out to me.
Good.
From the overall game, from the overall day.
Well, I think he's only one of the few that had over 100 yards in the game. Yeah,
but he carried the ball 34 times or something like that because he was the only bit of offense that they had, and they had that 18 play or 21 play drive.
Listen, he only carried it 26 times. How dare you?
Still, it felt like it was 34 times. It felt like it was a lot. But and then it's just. That was a tough situation. You have the interim head coach and Frank Reich. It's his first game. He's figuring all this out. That quarterback play was atrocious. Ben Goldbrinson, not it.
Nope.
Not it. And
it's been this way for years to figure out the quarterback. They have not figured out the quarterback situation in so long, and they will not start freshmen. That is the other problem, is they won't start young guys. I don't want to talk about it. This isn't going to be the year. I don't know. Like, it's not going to be the year. It's going to take time. But I do have faith with Andrew Luck at the helm that it will turn over eventually. It's just not going to be right now. It's not going to be the year.
No. But Ford was good.
Yes.
I'm looking here to make sure I'm not missing any. Oh, Jackson Harris, that Hawaii wide receiver.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I was wondering.
Oh my goodness. Number 9.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Great short burst acceleration. Pulls away at the last second with his route running ability. Shows the ability to get 2 feet down and bounce consistently. He's a really good route runner. Good receiver through contact. I actually have good route runner on there twice, like just to make sure I got it right. Like it's on there twice. Has good quickness. Make the first defender miss after the catch. And he's got size. Like there was some good stuff there. Jackson Harris was fun. And I'm going to throw a dark horse out here. This is in your wheelhouse.
Sure.
Mike Franklin, Southern. Okay, this is how deep I went. I had eyes on every game that played on Saturday. And I got notes. Okay. Mike Franklin plays running back for Southern. He's like probably the number 2 running back. I think Trey Holly is, but Mike Franklin is like 245 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fullback. He's got it. He's got it. Like that's an NFL fullback if I've ever seen one right there at Southern. So shout out HBCUs. Opening up the season with a good matchup. Well, it ended up not being a great match. It was 31-14, I think. North Carolina Central destroying Southern. But it was like, oh, this Mike Franklin guy, That's a fullback right there. Like, I like him because good, strong downhill runner, tends to fall forward. He's an average athlete at best, but like you can get by as an average athlete as fullback. That's good. I think he'll be
if you're talking about fullbacks, I'll just say this: Micah Ford is rumored to be having some fullback responsibility as well. Stanford has always run a fullback, back to the Owen Marisic
days. Which I think Shield Taylor's kind of more their fullback, isn't he? I mean, he was playing a lot of tight end, but
yeah, but I've been told from coaching friends that Micah will be in on some responsibilities as a fullback. So we'll see if unless they have to lean on him so much as the entire offense, then obviously that would go out the window. But if he has the ability, he apparently he can do. I mean, he can pretty much do anything, honestly. But yeah, that's what I was told. So we'll see.
Yeah, it was I liked it. I liked the week. I thought there was some good stuff. Some players popped. I'm gonna get a lot more into this with the live show on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I guess as of recording day, that's tomorrow. As of release day, that's tonight. So check that out. I probably have 300 is a stretch, 200 players worth of notes here from Saturday. And I just had to kind of go through and pull the highlights out. But yeah, that's where that was our week 0. Look at I enjoyed it. I was just ecstatic to have live football again.
I know.
New stuff to evaluate. And I just got my hands on the all 22 stuff. So I'm going to probably be diving into that before I go to sleep tonight. If I can get through these freaking rosters in the NFL, cutting down to 53 men.
Yeah.
It might be a long night. I might not sleep tonight. But yeah, I think we're at 36 minutes.
We hit it.
Poor Jimmy over there probably wants to get to bed here soon. So heck yeah. You want to wrap us up?
Yes, let's do it. For John Vogel, I'm Emily Van Buskirk. This has been the Sick Podcast Draft Digest edition. We'll see you next week.
No, we're coming right back.
Well, I don't know if we're supposed to say that.
Oh, we're coming right back. We're going to look at week 1 coming up next.
You say that right now, or like
we'll
see you in a few minutes? Okay.
No. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
So yeah.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Draft Digest on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.